Hi, everybody, and welcome back to episode 2 on this 7-part series on building a 9-second Turbo Territory. I never intended to build a 9-second Territory. It's just when I decided to replace the factory turbo with a slightly larger one, the Garrett GTX 3584 RS. My goal was to run a 10 flat, and everybody, quite a few people said that would be impossible, especially in the territory. But we finally did it, and to those people who said it couldn't be done, nah. But anyway, also in regards to my first video, the introductory video, I can't remember if I mentioned why I showed you the service history and why have you not on the purchase details in the service history of my car. I did that. This is in particular for the young people that just get the license and they want to buy a car. Buy something decent to start off with. Don't buy your buddy's cousin's car that he's also a P-plate and it's lived half its life on a rev limiter, and you're gonna have to spend money just bringing it up to scratch before you actually spend money on modifying it, or you do modify it and then this goes wrong and that goes wrong because it's been thrashed in its previous life. My recommendation is just buy a car from a middle-aged or elderly couple, and preferably maybe a 1 or 2 owner vehicle with low to average case that's always been serviced at the dealership or at their local mechanic, local garage, that's been always stamped and dated and what have you not. And that way you could confirm the odometer reading if that's genuine or not. Whether the odometer's been wound back or the dash has been replaced or what have you not. And yeah, just start off with a good car. That's all I could suggest. And for you P-players that want to sell a car, here's some tips from an old bloke. Don't go taking photos of your car at your local car wash in the wash bay just after you washed it, because to me that says, oh, I want to sell my car and I better wash it. Or, if you wash it at home, at least put the hose away and the bucket away and wait for the driveway to dry up, because they say pictures, every picture tells a story, or a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, to me, that just says you don't look after your vehicle and you just wash it because you want to sell it. Oh, and as far as interior photos goes, get yourself a cardboard box or a bag or something. Open up all your doors and pick up all the shit that's on the floor and on the seats and your center console and throw it in the box or bag and give your car a vacuum. I mean, how hard is that? Just make it look like that you care a little bit. And the last thing is take your P-plates off. The reason I say that is when my daughter got her license and she wanted to buy a car, she'd look on Facebook Marketplace or car sales and what have you not, and she'd come up to me and say, hey dad, can we go and have a look at this car? And I'll look at it, and the minute I see P-plates on the windows, I say, nah, I'm not gonna waste my time. That's just my opinion, and it's just something that I think you really need when you buy a car and you want to modify it or personalize it or do whatever. Buy something decent to start off with. If you don't have the money, well, just keep looking, and while you're looking, save up your dollars. It's just, anyway, that's just my opinion. Now, I don't have my Territory back yet. It's still at John Performance Center. Getting a larger turbo put on it and bigger injectors, and I was going to do a few little things to it myself during the winter months, during the off season, but I thought, well, while it's at John Performance Center, I'll get them to do it because I'm a bit time poor. In fact, at the moment, I got my wife's car in the workshop. I'll flip the camera around. I just replaced the fan belt on the air conditioner for it because the fan belt decided it had enough of going around and around and just split in half. So I had to get that, I replaced that. And this week has been, I think, fan belt week because of my Mitsubishi Triton Utah. I also had to replace the fan belts in that. They were on the way out. So I've had enough of fan belts for a while now. Anyway, in regards to stage one of the modifications I did to my car, which wasn't much, but it's probably the best bang for your buck if you start off. I already had a cold air intake on it. It was from SS Inductions, the growler air intake. Now, whether that made any difference or not to performance, I don't know, but hearing that induction noise sounds pretty cool. So I had that done. I did that myself, and then I went to Geelong Performance Center and spoke to them that I just wanted a little bit more than stock. So they recommended to remove the bung from the exhaust, and they fitted 60-pound injectors in it. And I looked it up on Professor Google. Apparently 60 pounds is 630 cc injectors. So I'm not sure what the stock injectors are. I think from memory they were $295 from the factory. I'm not 100% sure. So in any case, they're at least double the size. And he gapped down the spark plugs and then used one of those SCT X4 flash boxes to tune it. And he put 3 tunes in it. He left the factory tune in one, and then his custom tune. And he tuned the transmission as well, of course. And then he also put a valet parking tune in it, which means, if I left it at some fancy restaurant or whatever, hotel and they parked the vehicle, they couldn't rev it over 3,000 revs, so they couldn't go hooning around in it. So, he did all that. Now, I'll just flip this around for the dynograph. So this is the dynograph. Now initially, before the work that he did to it, it had 188.6 kilowatts on all 4 wheels. And then after the work and tune, it had 240.8 kilowatts on the wheels. So from what I can gather, looking, following other tuning companies, what they do to their cars and what have you not, that's pretty much with those modifications, that's pretty much what the power output, what the factory claims the engine puts out on the crank. So with these modifications, or similar, you should get close to the 245, around the 245 kilowatts. That's what the factory claims that the motor puts out on your wheels, which is a pretty good improvement. When I drove it, it was day and night difference. And then this was done in October 2015. I finally got around to going to Calder Park a couple of years later, and I'll show you the time slips. Now, I was a bit annoyed at Calder Park because for some reason my first run always seems to be the quickest, and then it just goes slower and slower. Now, why that is, I don't know. And for some reason, the timing systems didn't work on my first 2 runs. So I didn't get a time slip for the first 2 runs. However, I did take note of the timing boards. And my first run was a 12.9. The second run was a 13.4. And the third run was a 13.6, which I got the timing slip for. So I'm a bit annoyed I didn't get timing slips for the first 2 runs because they were my best runs. So anyway, that's what I suppose you can expect to get with these few modifications. So it made a huge difference. I was over the moon with those results. I was very happy, and I thought, yep, that'll do me. It's quicker than stock standard. I could live with that. So yeah, this will be a short video because I haven't done much to it. The next step or next stage in the following video next month, that's when it really gets interesting, because that's when I upgraded the intercooler and everything like that. So yeah, stay tuned next month for the third episode, and I'll catch you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.